basically focus on you building your own device for your car and putting it up on Azure, up in the cloud. That's the goal of this presentation. For essentially for you to be able to go home and go do it. And the reason this is important is because when you hear all the Microsoft guys talking like IoT and connected car, and once you really know how it works, it's not, I don't want to say impressive, but it clears the fog, and you go, okay, now I understand why we're using this portion. So, real quick to our sponsors. I'm with CleverSpec, and supposed to also plug that we're a Hortonworks partner, so we should do some big data stuff as well. The Hortonworks guy was around here somewhere. He wasn't really at our booth. But my name is Mark Sajan. I'm an engineer at CleverSpec. My day-to-day job is basically building data warehouses, essentially. But I'm really fascinated by the idea of like physical computing. I think the Raspberry Pi, the Arduino, and all that sort of thing has been around a while. This movement of like open hardware, everything being super inexpensive, is a really, really cool time to be alive. And I'm also pretty young, so this doesn't seem super new to me. This is like, oh, well, duh. And everyone's like earlier, one of the Microsoft guys was talking, he's like, this stuff's like cutting edge. And I was like, is it really? Like, I don't know. It's like, but I mean, and everything's just getting cheaper. I have $100 chip or 100 chips from China that cost me 80 cents each that have Wi-Fi on it that essentially do almost anything a very small computer can do. And that's sort of the age that we're getting into, and I find it really, really.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? You said you have 100 chips?
Right. So I've tried. So with the sensors, what's cool about it is you start to get more use cases because people realize that these sensors are so inexpensive. So for example, the reason I had all these chips, I was building a prototype where I wanted to know what rooms in my library were open at my old school, because everyone was in the study room, right? So the idea was I took all these sensors, I added a motion sensor to it, and then I basically synced them all up into a web interface. And if people moved in the room, it would say the room's occupied. But that's the reason why, because then it didn't really take off. People didn't like getting spied on or anything. But the idea was, there. It was. I mean, that cost me like $200, and the most expensive part was setting up my own network because the school network was horrible. I mean, if I had a good network, I could put them in like 10 in this room. You wouldn't notice, and someone would be able to go, okay, this room's being occupied again. So, and that's why, because from China. So basically, if you go on Amazon to buy parts, you pay like $9 per part, and you're like, oh right, that reseller just made like $5 off that. And so.
What are they?
This one was the ESP8266.
How do you break sense? I bought them for $5.
That was a good deal. No, it was Alibaba. Yeah. I mean, you paid a lot for shipping, but I ended up paying. I bought so much stuff. I paid $400 worth of gear, and then shipping was at $80. And then if I had wanted to just go on Amazon, I probably would have made like $1,000. I mean, I ended up using it, and that's just the way. And I mean, Amazon's great because it's 2-day shipping. But if you want a willing wait a month, I mean, I had customs all over that and the customs search all my stuff, but I mean, it's just, so, anyway, all right, back to this. So the point of this project, what started was, I was finishing school and I had an English final. And I was taking, I don't know why, I still had an English class before I needed to graduate. It was a book, it was Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut, and we had to write a report on it. So I was driving to school, and I remember where I was on 100 Mill Road in Reston. And I was going around this like kind of tight turn, and my brakes started to go out under my car. And I was driving a 2001 Hyundai Sonata, and my brakes started to go, and I was like, "That's not good." And then the engine started to tick, and then it kept ticking, and then it got louder, and this was all within the span of like 15 seconds. And so I was like, "Uh-oh, like, that's not good." So then I pulled over. I ended up turning the car back on. And the rattling was even worse. So then I was like, okay, call AAA right now. AAA guy comes and goes, well, you didn't have any oil in your car. And I've been changing my oil since I was like 15. So I was like, what the hell? And the guy's like, dude, why don't you just look at your dashboard? There's nothing on my dashboard. There was no check engine light. There was no oil light. There was nothing. It looked fine. And so, I mean, there was literally nothing on there. And then when I brought it to my mechanic, he yelled at me because once I dropped the car to my mechanic, it turned into a Christmas tree and everything started beeping. He's like, you idiot, why didn't you look at the freaking dashboard? And I was like, it didn't like happen until it was broken. So after this whole thing happened, I made a vow to never let this happen to anybody ever again. Just kidding. But it made me sort of question, you know, and I don't have anything against Hyundai or a car, or, I mean, I was just thinking, like, this should never have happened. Like, even since when the car had died, this should not be a problem. So what I do, right? Get any good engineer, right? You just go and make one, right? So what I have with me today is, this is basically, we built it in Power BI, and I have our prototype that kind of hacked together. So this is, I don't want to brag, but we're actually on the first showcase. So, are any of you guys familiar with Power BI?
Yeah.
All right. They've talked about it a lot today. Big fan of it. It's really, really useful. And what's cool, right? So this device, I have a hotspot, a Raspberry Pi, a couple other miscellaneous things, a power cord, and a box. And we were able to generate something like this, where we had driver behavior. So people at our work, we can figure out how they're driving fast or slow. We got where they are, and the Power BI map is awesome. Like, this is good. I mean, just to give you a heads up, this is on the partner showcase. Before I had done this project, I had never used Power BI. So, I mean, if you know Excel or any other tool, I mean, it's any other tool. It's a visualization tool, but it's really easy to use and it's simple. It's not like, nothing against Tableau. Again, I am platform agnostic. I just found that Tableau is a little too complicated, and plus for Microsoft partners, so I was like, well, we can go with this thing. So we have like engine load by driver, average speed by driver, miles per gallon. You got other tabs. If any of you are familiar with the area, this is Dulles. This is like around here somewhere. There's Dulles right there. So our office is right there. And you can see we're just driving all over the place. So that's what our end goal was. But we do. it. So it's not, it was an add-on. And to be honest, it wasn't an add-on as much as it was scope creep in this POC where we started building it, and then they're like, well, why don't we just know where the car is too? And I was like, duh, like, but so that took us like another week or two, but it's not, my presentation will cover the GPS thing. It's not as confusing as you think, because I figured out what was bad, so real quick, these are just different things that you can monitor. If you have a bunch of cars, you can monitor where all the cars are. Remember, this is only for your car, but I mean, this is all sorts of things. Health of your car, where the car is. Check engine light. It'll actually, you'll know, and you'll also be able to find out what the actual code is, what the problem is. Preventive maintenance. We ended up figuring out that one dude, his like service light hadn't turned on, but we were getting a unique service light. It's computer, requires a computer, you just read from that. All sorts of things. So where do we start? All right, so in front of me today. So real quick, has everybody here heard of Raspberry Pi 3? Who here has not? Okay, all this is a computer, right? It's got a gig of RAM, 4 USBs, it's a system on a chip, it has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. I mean, it's essentially a computer, and you can power it like a cell phone. So, this is the GPS module. We'll talk about later. It just sits essentially right on this. Like, that. Just kind of flat. And remember, this is prototyping, so like this isn't like final hardware, but this is just yourself. Does anyone know what an OBD reader is? What is an OBD reader?
It's the thing that reads the codes out of your car.
Yep. And so, does everyone know where your OBD reader is? right under your left leg when you're driving. Some of you have never seen it. I had noticed, some people at work were like, where the hell is that thing? And you never notice it because it's under, I drive an old car, so it's kind of out there, but I think the newer cars have like a flat, but it's essentially, it has 12 pins and you plug something in and you can read your car's computer. Which is cool because now they make them where you read the computer, but this has Bluetooth and this has Bluetooth. So this is kind of like the match, right? So, and this was $12, so, and this was $40.
How far back can you go? Supposed to start the car?
96. I drove it in free, so. So I was like, we gotta do this. I always build a project and I ended up building it for other people's cars. It's really fun. So.
It's what we used to use when you had to have your vehicle safety inspected and your check engine light was on.
Right, well, I think you
Turn it off right before you go to the inspection station.
I think you still do that.
Yes.
Right? And so if you ever have to check engine light on your car, that's essentially what it is. If you need to bring it to your mechanic, it'll be $50 to clear this code. You're just plugging in something and reading it code. And it's all you're doing. You'll get like a 7 or 8 digit, and it's like words, letters and numbers, and then you just Google the code, and that's what your problem with the car is. But again, this and this gets rid of that entirely. And you know it all the time. So a lot of data in the car's computer that you don't think about until you start. We'll get into it. Okay, so real quick, a Pi, known Pi is a computer. It's started by a nonprofit by a PhD student over in the UK. And I think they sold 1 million to 10 million units. This was $40. This is like their top of the line. They have a $5 one. Raspberry Pi 3, they have 2 and a C Plus or something. Just get the free. I don't think you can buy it. And it's made for kids. That's how they market it. You can learn Python on it. You can learn how to do some analyze stuff and C and LS and all sorts of stuff. But they market it as a kid's toy. So when I was telling someone, I'm using Pi for this kid's C, they're like, why are you using a kid's toy? It's not a kid's toy. It's a computer. I mean, at the end of the day, this thing is, it's not nearly as good as a laptop, but it can do a lot of things that you wouldn't expect. Even those with that 80-cent chip I had, it's a computer. I mean, you don't have a web, you can't like GUI and like dance around on it, but it reads stuff and it's pumping up to Wi-Fi. I mean, it's the future of computing, and that's why everything's moving to the cloud and it's getting so cheap. So it's like, well, take advantage of it while you still can for it. So, real quick, thing went over. It has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth built in. This is pretty important just because before it wasn't, so you had to basically fill 2 of your USB dongles with like a little Wi-Fi one and a Bluetooth one. They changed that. They made a couple more additions to the new one. We got only $40. They have GPIO. My favorite thing, it's not really relevant to this discussion, but real quick, what it is it gives you the ability to turn a little LED light on and off with a wire, which might sound really childish again, but you're essentially writing 2 lines of Python code and you're firing pins. So if you want to do a light, fine. We have something in the office where it'll email me, it'll tell us a word if the plant is low on water, and it has a sensor and it uses the GPIO pins. I mean, the pins let you really communicate with that physical world. So, if you know Python, I don't know if anybody Python here. Hopefully, some of you might, because we're going to talk about it a little bit. You could probably do this project anything you wanted, but it's just Python. And if you don't have one, I highly suggest either getting one for you or your kid, because we had an intern last summer who was 16, showed up, and he was the boss's friend's kid, and I was like, and the boss was like, okay, you need to take care of the intern for the summer, and I was like, God dang it, it's like, great, I don't have enough to do, I'm gonna take care of this kid as well. And so the first day he came in, he's like, what are we gonna do? And I was actually working this at the time, and I was like, well, we're gonna do something called Raspberry Pi, do a little programming. The kid took Pi, loads a different operating system on it, and just like grabbed the sensor I had and wired it up in the day, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm gonna learn from you this summer, right? And so I mean, and he wasn't even impressed with himself. He's like, I don't know enough. I was like, what? I was like, dude, like you just did all of that, and you're like in high school. He was like a junior. So, why are we using that? Got Bluetooth connects to the device. I use Python 2.7. Azure has an SDK that connects to the Python, and then there's actually an OBD package in Python that lets you read your parts computer really easily. Small. We don't use a lot of power. I just plug it into the parts outlet for prototyping. And so this art, hopefully I've got the SD card. Okay, good. So the computer essentially runs on this little chip, and these are the chips that are in your back of your phone, or at least in Android phones, I think. And they store your camera, pictures and stuff. This is what you load your operating system on, and you plug it into the back of here, and you kind of go. We've broken a couple of these before where they would snap, or I would do something in like one of the folders I was not supposed to be in, and it would just halt the system, or I would try to do an auto start, and it would just. But the good thing is, it's like, okay, let's just start over. Like, just reboot it. It takes 20 minutes, and you got fresh code on there, and you just back at it. So, you don't ruin your computer. You just gotta start over. Talking about what's the OBD, second in line. And this thing was $12, and it's Bluetooth. And you pair it like you pair any device. If you're pairing a Bluetooth device to your phone, get a Bluetooth device around the house. You need like a key or something. I don't remember exactly how it was. It's really straightforward. Probably I don't remember it. But basically, you just connect the Pi to this, and then you're good. And then you can start coding, and you're okay. So we use a hotspot because we have to talk to Azure. You can use your cell phone. If you want to productionize this, we actually got a quote from some electrical engineers, and they said it was going to cost like $16 to make this whole thing with the GPS module as well. And then you just have to end up paying that data per month. And you can partner with Verizon or something. We get 5 gigs a month, $50 is the minimum. But you can share that across as many devices as you want. And these devices don't use like any data. So we kind of got screwed at the beginning and we spent $50. But if we had 100 devices, we could probably roll 5 gigs as long as you're not pushing data too much. And then lastly was this GPS. So if you actually look, this is the GPS module itself. More or less it's this. Okay. What's great about this whole new hardware movement is that the way they build it, you don't actually have to know anything about anything. All you need to do is know to put this on these pins, and you're now connected to GPS. They do sell this individually. Looking back, I probably should have just bought it because it was like 4 wires. But they need something to be like, what is a TX pin? What's it? They're just, this will just abstract it away. It's called a hat. So if you ever want to get into this thing, you need to learn. They have all sorts of hats. They probably have like temperature hat, GPS hat. All it does is it's just like, you don't need to do any wiring at all. Just plug and play. Is it the best way to learn? I don't know, but it gets the job done. And then we just read the GPS data. I think it's that NVIDIA standard, and there's just Python package for that. Again, there are other things out there. This was actually the most expensive thing. It was like $45. But again. And then lastly, okay, so before we start building it, how do we want to design what this is going to look like, right? So I ended up buying this from like Bed Bath & Beyond or something. It was too big. It wasn't going to work. But we wanted to basically put it in a box that you put in your middle console. You need to make sure that it has power, and then you kind of just put the device in there. Didn't work out because GPS needs to be kind of close to the window. It's not as good. Now, I'm sure there are better things out there. Again, but with what we had, this wasn't good enough to sit in a glove box and it connects to GPS. So we ended up having to like kind of hold it on the front of the car. They sell like extender wires that you can put an antenna out. But we didn't want to do that either. And now I understand if you ever see, because this is a commercialized product, we're not trying to compete. It was literally just for like to learn. And what they'll do is you have the device that plugs. Does anyone own a connected car device that they put in their car? Has anyone seen those things? Okay, so basically it's this. It's a little bigger because they have more computer like parts in here. But what it does is it reads the data from your car's computer, but it uses your phone as the hotspot and transferring and everything. So you don't actually need this. It just kind of ties in with the app, which I realized after I built it why they did that. So something to consider. And then lastly, if anyone here is an EV guy at all, we can never really figure out a way to safely power down the device because you turn the car on, it turns high on, but then when you turn the car off, the power just gets cut. And then you're just unplugging the computer over and over and over. So they do sell devices that like help manage it. They're all sold out, like all summer by the single. So I guess it recognizes that the car power is down, and then it transfers to its battery, and then somehow it needs to basically tell high to stop running all your code so you don't run anything. So that was kind of the main thing that we never actually got. No one seemed to care but me for some reason. But I was like, this is really important. Like if the pi goes down, they're like, oh no, don't worry about it, that'll be V2. I'm like, not V2. So that's to consider. So to get started, it costs about $100. Again, it was definitely worth the investment. This would probably take you a weekend. If you know Python, it'll be less, and if you know Azure, it'll be less. We got caught up with a lot of dumb little things that I'll try and talk about today. But a lot of it at the end of the day was plug and play, which was great. I actually spent like a week during the summer basically programming outside all day. Our office is on the first floor, and then we have like a little like thing where all the chairs and the grass is, and there's a road, so we just park the car there, and I would set my little lab outside. It's pretty great summer. So, but you'll have to go outside to do this at the start. You have to make sure that everything's starting to do more. So, before we dive in, real quick, the goal: you want to take your car's data and work for this presentation. I think I have speed for abstract purposes. Let's just imagine we want to take your RPMs from your car and push it to a Power BI dashboard. The Power BI dashboard, just imagine like a line chart with your RPMs. And that's all we want to do, because once you can do that, you can do everything else. That's once you have all the pipes in place, you're good to go. So it's Python package called OBD. This is the code, and this is it. Once you have this and the Pi talking with that device key, this will give you your speed. I think so. You run the package, you set up some of the connections, point to speed. You can do RPM, you can do all sorts of stuff, get your read response, and then that's it.
Any option not live by the end compared with your ODPD device?
What do you
got
mean?
over Bluetooth, right?
Oh, so not a security guy. I knew that was going to happen every time we go on these things, and I understand the problem. Now you do need a key to like lock into this thing, which I think it's either buried in here or it's in packaging somewhere. So it's not just like anyone can connect. You did need a code. But I'm not a security guy, and I'm not going to pretend to be. So I know there are definitely security flaws in here that probably need to be patched up. But my response when people ask me that is, well, hopefully you're driving, so that means someone needs to like drive next to you. And then what are they taking? Like your RPM? Like they're not going to control your computer.
This code is running on the Pi, right? So
Right.
I don't think you
Oh no, there's no other. The only authentication is on the Bluetooth side of the Pi. That you didn't pair, like pairing phones to one of your devices in your home.
But you only control the Pi side of it, right? You don't have any
Oh,
control.
you don't. Yeah. But to connect to this, it comes with coders. It came with something that was like specific to this.
All right.
But yeah, when people ask me security stuff, my understanding is you're able to control the car. The only thing you get is your readings. And so, I mean, I have a good question, but then if you could control the car, then yeah, I think that'd be great. So with this package is OBD. This is not everything you can get, but we can get RPM, engine load, throttle, how long you've been running, like today or in that drive. Distance travel with the check engine light on, I thought was really cool. It would kind of suck for your guys who are driving around with check engine light, and then you call them and you're like, hey, check engine light on? And they're like, no. It's like, well, no, I know exactly how long you had it on, because for some reason it's recorded. I don't actually know why that's being recorded. Then runtimes the code's been cleared, so if it's been like a year since the code's cleared, you should probably bring it to the shop regardless. Oil temperature, fuel rate, other things. We ended up doing some calculations in some of the fields to get even more data, like the hard brakes and the acceleration was just a change in speed over time. And if you like slam from like 60 to 20 in 3 seconds, you obviously brake. One of the guys tried to get miles per gallon. He was getting that computer by taking like the wheel diameter of the car times your average RPM per minute. It never worked. But I mean, he was on the right track. I told him, I said, don't do it. Like, it's not going to work. I know him, but he wasn't trying to do it. But there are formulas where you just take different points of your car and start making some sort of calculation about it.
So odometer and other.
Like speed.
The speed of
Oh, odometer? No, we could not get odometer. I think it was because the car we were using was a mechanical odometer. It wasn't a. I don't know if we did that. I don't know if we did that. I can look. I feel like you should. Actually, I feel like you shouldn't, because if you can, then you can probably screw around. They keep that pretty locked down. Doing anything with the odometer is not, it's not easy. That's what I do. But we were never able to get that. There are a couple of things with your car. Like some cars would get oil temperature and some wouldn't, or some would get throttle and something. You know, I don't know why. Maybe it's the brand, or maybe it's the computer. I don't know. But you'll notice that, like, if you do try, I encourage you guys try. You'll type in one of the codes that's in there, like get updating starter page, and then you'll be like, why is this not returning anything? It's probably not nothing you did wrong. It doesn't work. Your computer doesn't have that. So we didn't find it a lot, and we tried it on a lot of cars, and there wasn't nothing like blaring. So, the GPS is basically the next step. Once you have this connected to your device and it's running, then you just basically throw it in a loop every 10 seconds or something. You read car's data. The GPS is just another package. You type in another, I don't know if I have it in the slide deck, but it's the same thing where you're importing and then you read Latin. Now, I'm not a GPS pro, and this was a problem that probably took me 3 days to realize. You plug this into the Pi, and you go outside, and you'll get a lock. Should, and it'll blink like once every 10 seconds. And then you go, okay, great, we're locked in. The problem is once you run the Python code, for some reason, the way the GPS is stored is that GPS module is basically logging it somewhere. And then the Python code is basically going in and reading that log. What I didn't realize is that thing records GPS like three measurements per second or something. So you're getting all this data, you're not doing anything. You just literally have it logged in. The problem is once you run the Python code, it just gets the most recent one. So the first time we got the GPS to work, it took me like a week and a half, and I was like, yes, this is finally working. I saw lat longs coming in, it was like -77 in west or something, and I was like, oh my god, we got it. So we had to go drive, right? So we get in the car, there's 3 of us in the car, we're in this like big James Bond Suburban. I don't know why we were in this one, but and then I call someone from work and it's like, hey man, like go, because we had the Power BI set up in the knob. And so it was like full screen and it was real time, so everything's getting pinged in. Like we had speed and all the other stuff set up, but I hadn't got the GPS to work. And so the guys at work, I gave them a call and say, hey man, like go on the Power BI showcase. And we go on Power BI in the knob and look at our Power BI dashboard. And it's like, is the map uploaded? Yeah, man, it's like I see dots there, it looks good. Dude, we drove for 30 minutes, I was dancing around. I came back and my freaking map looked like that because that reading the same freaking ones because this is our office right here. So we drove roughly 15 miles. And he told me, he's like, yeah, we're getting dots. It's like, dude. So basically what you need to do is you need to make sure, now I know there's a better way to do it. The way I ended up being around it is just keep reading from that and pick the last one over faster running that code. Again, don't do GPS first. It's kind of one of those next steps, but this was the biggest problem, and it was just like stupid. It never made sense to me, but anyway. Okay, so at this point we had Azure set up, we have, I mean, we don't have, we have the car set up, right? So I'm getting speed, and I'm getting it every 10 seconds. And then I have GPS too, stored in there, right? And we're storing in a variable, and it's printing out every 10 seconds, variable, boom, boom, boom. 0 miles per hour, 2 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour. Now we need to go, okay, how do we get this into my Power BI showcase, right? So a lot of graphs here. I don't like the names Microsoft gives all this stuff. It just makes it like more complicated, I guess. But this is your car. It's streaming to something called Event Hub, which is actually sitting in something else called a service bus. It goes to Stream Analytics, and we push it to Power BI, and it just gets stored in your database. We put machine learning. We were really doing a lot of machine learning. We didn't have enough data, but you can kind of throw it in there, kick it all around. At the end of the day, I'm going to draw it because I saw something earlier today. The way this whole IoT communication is, where everyone's like millions of devices and real-time streaming, the protocol they're using is really easy. It's called publish subscribe. Is anyone here familiar with this? I assume most of you are, but some people don't get it, and then they just get confused. All you really need to think about it is if you have like the Wall Street Journal, and then you have Post Office, and then you have you. Okay? You subscribe to the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal publishes their magazine. It goes through the post office because the post office basically handles your mail. So they're the publisher. You're the subscriber. And this is the broker. So the broker is, and everyone, it's pub sub. That's like the hip term, pub sub. But you also have a broker because something needs to be managing where everything's going. The other only important like fundamental thing you need to know about this is you as the subscriber need to like basically tell the broker who you're subscribed to, and that's called the topic. So your topic would be Wall Street Journal, and then that means like this isn't real life. Obviously, you can't just like tell the post office what you want, but the idea is you're telling the post office, which is the broker, I want anything the Wall Street Journal sends out, right? And they go, okay, and then the Wall Street Journal doesn't care. The Wall Street Journal can publish as many people as it wants to, and you can subscribe to as many newspapers as you want to. So that's the idea. And when Microsoft AWS has like millions of devices, just imagine it's a post office. I mean, it's like that's all it is. So when you have like Stream Analytics, Event Hub, the only difference is, okay, so we have our Wall Street Journal. Can everyone see this by the way? Or trigger over here? Okay. So we have our Wall Street Journal. We have post office. And then we have you. Okay. So this is the broker. Here's the Wall Street Journal. They're publishing all their messages again. So they're going to publish in the post office. The way Service Bus and Event Hub works, and if you've been in any other talks today where they talk about it, it's just an ingestion platform, I guess you can think of it as. And Service Bus is basically the bouncer for Event Hub. So all these messages coming from Wall Street Journal, Times, or Washington Post, or whatever. And the idea is, if you have a million devices all publishing their information, you need something to manage it because you can't just shove it all to you at once or you'll drown. So you have this thing called the Service Bus, which basically acts as a queue management sort of thing, where you say, okay, I got 10 messages, let's wait for John to get his messages through over to you. And that's all the Service Bus is. It's essentially like a bouncer. So you on this side don't care how you get it, but this is Microsoft's solution to, well, it's not Microsoft's solution, it's like a protocol, it's like a fundamental way of how we do this. But they give it names like Service Bus and that, which I don't have a problem with, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But that's how this part works, that's how the act part works. And then remember, we want to go to Power BI, right? At the end of the day, that's where we want our data. So we need to connect this to here. And we use something called streaming analytics for that. Now, has anyone here heard people talking about streaming analytics today? Has anyone here used it? It's a select star. It selects from where. I mean, this thing is now it can get super complicated and it can do a lot, but all I had been doing was like select star from the event node, and then publish that info to Power BI, and that's all we have for head doing. So you can get most recent messages, you can get specific messages if the speed is this or something, but that's what the streaming analytics portion does. And so it's not illustrated the best here, and I made this by the way, so it's my own fault. But essentially, Event Hub, which is like you can just view, and then you can put Power BI to streaming analytics. So that's kind of our architecture. So I think I have some screenshots real quick of the Azure GUI. This is what I was talking about. So before we start doing all that, what do we want to send? What are we sending? Message? Okay, what kind of message? What sort of format? What am I sending? How am I sending it, etc. How fast am I going to send this message? Well, my boss said he didn't care because when you do hit those things, it does cost money. Not a lot, but it's still like a penny or something for messages. So I don't know. I don't want to say it actually doesn't really cost. It's not a lot, but it does still cost money. So I didn't want to do it every I thought 10 seconds was enough. Like, every second I want to do it. So it's okay, like, that's fine. You kind of change your code a little bit and just keep moving faster. You send it in a JSON format. No, if you don't know what a JSON format looks like, I have an example coming next. And then the Azure topic, essentially what you want to subscribe to, like your car. And this is sort of that what you need to know before you dive in. So this is what
That when you're setting your Power BI, those questions.
So Power BI, the Power BI portion. Well, it depends what you want your visual to look like. I mean, do you want to measure speed, or do you want to measure location, or do you want to be looking at how fast, how slow? Or, I mean, the Power BI part is actually really easy, where you kind of plug in that streaming analytics portion into Power BI, and then you're done. That's why I always suggest don't really worry about the Power BI portion to start. Does anyone here use Power BI? It's not difficult, but you can see your data source. You can kind of just like plug where your data is, and what you should see is like another RPM should show up without you touching anything. That's the goal. Because once you get those data, even if it's RPM, then you just basically change your code out and start sending whatever you want. And then you can make line graphs with pie charts or whatever. I found the Power BI port ended up kind of being reactionary because then I didn't know what I was going to get for car data. I think oil temperature was a big problem, and I had like a whole module for oil temp because I got screwed on my oil, and then it didn't work. So it kind of depends on where your car is, and then like how you want it to look. So real quick, if you don't know what JSON is, basically. Okay, so we gave every car and every device an ID, but basically here, like we're setting RPM, and this is like the Python way of like dynamically setting variables, but essentially it's RPM, speed, engine load, and you're kind of putting it in this. So when people are saying they're sending messages, this is literally what you're sending. This is it. Whatever sensor you're using, probably is using JSON. And it looks like this, and they're probably sending it every 10 seconds, and it's the device that's sending it. So you basically program it to make sure that every message sent is in this format. And I also probably spent 4 or 5 hours thinking I had an Azure problem, but my JSON code was just formatted incorrectly. I was missing a quote. So you gotta make sure this is right too. But when people say they're sending millions of messages, this is what you're saying.
They're not formatting cloud side, like you pass anything as string.
You pass everything as string, but this is I'm setting this from my Pi, and then I'm dynamically setting the variables, and then I'm basically calling my Azure SDK, and you just publish it. I had to add this because it's like 5 lines, but you're basically publishing this variable up to the cloud. But it's
I
on.
understand architecture companies make.
Oh, yeah, you just.
I think I worked there.
Oh, I sent all the strings. Oh, okay. I think I sent the strings because I was getting Azure yelling at me or something. And then in Power BI, I just changed the numbers. And I just formatted it there. Yeah, I ended up going a lot of times with what worked versus what was right because I just wanted it done. And then I'm like, this just needs to work. We talk about this. This is kind of how everyone has shown their slides of the hierarchy. And as I go through this presentation, remember that this sort of structure of how I'm setting data applies to anything. It's not just car. I mean, the car is a great example because everyone has a car and get it. But your phone apps, when you're sending messages, Facebook Messenger uses that same exact format where you're sending messages to each other. Is that MQTT model of publish and subscribe? Everyone kind of does the same thing. This topic again is important. You need to make sure you know what you're sending your information to, and then it's just logic. And then it's just rules. Okay, if the topic's this, send it here. So we're not. We're business logic or something on it. This real quick is the Azure. I use the old Azure.com. I don't know what the new one's called. I'm not definitely the new one. Essentially, go to Service Bus, and you create a namespace. And this is more security. They give you this super long password and then like another long password. To basically make sure that anything you publish to here, you have to know that. In order to publish there or just send. So basically, Service Bus, make a new namespace. And then within, so this is within Service Bus, like the module within Azure. You go to this thing called Event Hub, and then this name is basically your topic. So here's where you're setting it all up. And I named it my hub, I think because like the tutorial said to do that. But this is your topic with my hub. So anything that you send to Azure SDK in like the Service Bus way, that you point to my hub, gets sent to my hub, and it just keeps going through. And so here, remember how I said the streaming analytics was the select star from where? This is what this was. You need to make, I don't know what they call it, the streaming analytics instance. Turn it on, and then you just have it point to the hub. So, this is when you go back into there and put your input as an event hub, which is the my hub, and then you put the output as Power BI. And as long as you're logged on in Power BI as the same user you are in Azure, you're going to get your data. And then, I don't know if you've seen any Power BI examples. I wish I put it on here. But you'll have like a feed to the left of some data sources, and you'll just see like something pop up and have like a yellow star, and that's your Power data. And so, I mean, lastly, this is how you publish the code up to Azure. And this is running the same place you're running that JSON. And this is kind of what you do. This is just a function in Python. You put your namespace, we call it IoT demo. You put an access key, which they call this, and then they give you a value you need to have. And then remember our topic with my hub as the topic, and cycle info was just that JSON string. And that's it. Like, that's really all it was. I mean, it seems like a lot, but it was more just took time to learn how to do it because there were no good demonstrations online because all the Microsoft ones just use like a fake simulator to send data to their Azure environment, which is basically cheating. Like, it's not really the same thing. So, that's kind of the end. You'll see that data pop in, and we're going to get rolling. Some problems I had. I think I mentioned a lot of them. The GPS thing was kind of a pain. Never figured out powering on and off the device. And then what to measure. This data, I mean, this project kind of started as like someone wanted the POC just to see if we could do it. And then we got it to work, and then we tried to get more requirements, and then there were none. So they just like make it better. And so you have the parts, it's kind of hard to decide exactly what you want. The add pipes, basically what I showed was, it probably not hard if you know how Azure works. I'm not most familiar with Azure. And they have like an IoT, something that probably does better than I did in Azure. But, and then powering down, one of the biggest problems, project. Okay, so that's kind of how the device works. So if they don't have any questions before I don't have that many more slides left, but if there are any more, yeah.
It's still running? Do you have people?
Oh no. Well, we had like 2 working, and we just made everyone take it and drive every car. People didn't really want to know where they were all the time. They were like, no, like, what if my girlfriend finds out, you know? so they never did. I mean,
Still on the tip.
yeah, but
Tell that to her.
yeah, right.
Keep the rest.
Yeah, you can keep the rest, but we also turned it off because it still costs money, and you have to have a hotspot. We only have one hotspot, and so actually the Verizon deal is not so bad. This actually cost me $50 just a piece of hardware, and then pay $50 a month for the device. Now, if you have more devices, you can share the data. So it turns out to $50 a month.
So you need one per car.
Yeah. So you can use your phone, to a hotspot. I don't know that either. Yeah.
Well, you said something about buying the Wi-Fi hardware. You could set it up so that you shared a plan amongst all that?
Yeah, that's how all the big guys do it. And so you see, so there are companies that are doing the connected car thing. They all partner with Verizon or AT&T or something. But it's kind of like the cloud for Verizon. They don't care if you use the device, they just want you on the network. They don't care if you share it or, I mean, $50 for 5 gigs is a lot. I mean, like, that's ridiculous. I like basically yelled at the sales rep when he told me that. He's like, no, man, he's like, you can share it. Like, they want you to be sharing the devices. Like, you can have 15 devices per plan or something like that. So, and then, so the hardware guys came in and they gave us a quote, and they said the GPS module they're going to use is super cheap. And they said, yeah, it just comes down to you need to go negotiate with the vendor how much you want to pay a month per data. Yep.
So you're talking about OBD, right? There's an OBD2. Is that for trucks?
I think this is considered OBD2. I think OBD2 is the new standard, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I might have said it wrong. It's just, yeah, I think OBD technically was 96 behind. I don't know, I call it OBD still. But yeah, you're exactly right.
I think they call it J17 or
The old one?
yeah.
Oh, really?
It's not from the picture. But I was going to ask another question about this is for cars. Do you ever do anything with trucks? Or heard of anyone that
Oh, so I do know a company that does it with trucks. They do it in the Middle East, I think. Nothing's really different. I mean, I don't know how trucks have an OBD, like the big 18 wheelers they do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they brought.
The newer models after 2000.
What a lot of people will do actually with the trucks, they don't care about what the truck is. They care about what's inside the truck. And so you get these big trucks that are refrigerated, and then basically the back of the truck has its own network. And it's called Zigbee, I think, or XB. It's basically a different Wi-Fi protocol, essentially. And you have all the devices in the truck, like communicating, it's cold, it's hot, like basically maintaining the package of the truck versus the truck itself. And then you send it the same way. I mean, you have this little internal network, and then you have one device that's connected to the cloud, and then you can pump data up. And I think that is turning into a big thing. But it's not so much where the truck is as much. Now, they still do where the truck is, and they can like predict the truck's gonna be late and stuff. But I think that's like old news, essentially. Like the new thing is like monitoring the inside of that truck. Let's see because if you can monitor where the truck is, again, it's just a computer, right? It's the same sort of principle. If you can know where that truck is at all times, you can know what the deal is with the stuff in the truck at all times.
And the big truck companies have been able to track by GPS for 20 years.
Yeah, I think that was.
Yeah, that's not the thing. I was more thinking about maintaining, preventing oil change, engine fault codes,
Yeah,
Regular maintenance.
as long as, I mean, even if it didn't have an OBD, which I'm assuming it does, or I might be doing it wrong, at the end of the day, someone will figure out how to read that inside of that truck. If it's not this sort of thing, it's sort of something, I mean, I wish I was more familiar with 18 codes, whatever the hell they are. But it's the same, again, it's, the variables might change, but like, the principles are the same. So, I can't answer your question exactly,
Two things on this.
Yeah.
There's always a hot wire in the car that stays hot no matter what. So you could have hooked it up to that, and it's different in
Oh,
every
really?
car. But what you then do is then take the script that you're running, test the RPM to see if the engine's running at all, and then issue shutdown command as soon as the RPM goes to 0.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know if it would get to there though. If it was 0, it would be off. That's
if-
hot wire.
if-
You mean
But
having
if
it-
you're always hot, there's
Oh,
no, it's
okay,
never
yeah,
on.
yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't think of that. I mean, we were trying to make it like user friendly for the customer, and we're like, I think the guy was like an international client, had a bunch of 7 series that he was like leasing out. And I actually told our boss, I was like, can we just stick like a GPS module on the side of the door so we can, he's like, idiot, he's like, get out of my office. Like, you're not touching the car, like, just make it work without him having to do anything. But yeah, I mean, there probably is. I wouldn't want to do that, but yeah. Anything else?
Based on your JSON sample code,
Yeah.
it looks like you can add any parameters you want.
Anything. So we
Right.
started off with like speed. So we had speed, and then we just threw in whatever the speed was for the OBD. And then I just got greedy and I added a bunch of like good, and I just kept going. You got that long in there. Anything that thing can record, at the end of the day, it's a sensor. So you just kind of shove it all in that JSON and you shoot it off.
Like, engine temperature,
Yeah.
all that.
I mean, you could add more things. You could add like room temperature of the car if you added a temperature sensor to that thing. Again, it's a lot of cool stuff you could do. But see, that turns into the problem where it's like, oh, we have all this data. It's like, dude, you don't need all that data. Like, why do I need this? When we have it, it's like, I don't want it. Like, no one needs that. So that's the thing. Like, so if you really, because then it might be too complicated. But yes, you're exactly right. You take that JSON, and then when it feeds into Power BI, as long like basically it's just like rows, and you just point to that row. So it kind of constructs the whole thing for you. So real quick to wrap up, something to think about. This was kind of like next step, like 20 years. A lot of the cars now are all connected, where as in they can drive themselves. This is Google, Tesla. Has anyone heard of Comma.ai? Has anyone heard of that company? It started by the guy who was the first guy to ever hack the iPhone. George Haas, I think his name was. He was like 16 when he did it. It's like a dash. You put your phone on your dash cam and you like look forward, and it just like is a machine learning algorithm with images. And it's like $1,000. He's trying to beat Tesla. Elon hates him, and he's like, no, you don't know what you're doing. But like, again, all these companies are doing the same thing where they're connecting the car and they're putting it online. What's actually going to be cool next is if you think of a network of moving things. So let's say my car's online and your car's online, and no one else's car's online. Well, that's okay. I mean, I can get my data to the cloud, and get your data to the cloud. But imagine if everyone is online, then all the cars can start talking to one another. As in, you can drive your most efficient way possible, because all the vehicles know where they are. Now, I don't know how to do it, but the data will be there where you're gonna know where all the cars are, and someone's gonna write some fancy algorithm, or 100 algorithms, that are basically gonna say, you know, I know where your car is right now. You know, I know where your car is, I know where that car is, I know where that car is. And then we don't like need traffic lights, because you know where everybody is. So, there's a cool quick video, I think. Oh yeah, and yeah, no more traffic lights. I hate traffic lights. It's kind of like the only thing. If you ever see me get angry, it's not even driving. It's just hitting like 5 red lights in a row. It's just like ridiculous. especially when there's like not a car there, and you just, I made this thing, and I was like, why can't this thing solve this thing, But there are other things where, say you're driving out and a car comes flying by, your car will know cars nearby will just brake for you. I mean, all the cars now are braking for you because they sense a car's over there, but it's only because the car's close. They don't actually know that car is there, just sensing that something is there. Versus, imagine how much more efficient it'll be when you know where they are. You don't constantly checking your surroundings, you know where everything is, it doesn't matter. I'm talking your infrastructure, I don't know why you do that, it's another thing we were talking about. Yeah, eliminating traffic is kind of like my goal in life before I die. If I can have some way of helping that, I've grown up in this area since I was 7, so I guess I don't want to say used to it. I left my old job to this where I am now, partially because it was like 7 minutes from my house, and I was like, heck yeah! I was like, why would I not do that? Like, it seriously, it changes. Like, I had to drive here today. It took me 35 minutes, and I was like, oh my god, I don't want to go. I checked the traffic, and it's like yellow on Google Maps. So I'm kind of spoiled. But even then, I mean, it just blows my mind. So I actually want to show you this quick video. Has anyone seen this video? All right. So okay, before I start, so it's an MIT like simulation where there's no traffic lights. Everyone's just driving real fast. So I'll play it real quick. This, I guess, is the scenario where there are no lights. This is where you gotta wait. It's kind of like fluid dynamics, so it's not easy. It probably won't get solved by the time I die, but maybe, Maybe it's
Somehow make a smart traffic light for any cars.
yeah, but see, that's like you're not attacking the route, It's like it's just like a band-aid.
Not a second car.
No, I think Pittsburgh does that, right? I don't know. This will work. Let's see. I don't think that's now.
So one thing we're doing here is they have to stop. No, somebody walking, it's dark.
But this sort of idea where everyone's driving is possible, or possible.
Yeah.
Because you know where all the cars are, right? Yeah, you're probably right. There are bikers or people walking or bus. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm tunnel. But can you imagine that? Like that's not like science fiction anymore. That is like now it's gonna take a long time, but I mean definitely it's. Yep.
Well, I think it's gonna happen, it's just gonna happen because we won't be able to drive. In
What's
10
that?
years, we won't be driving.
Well, yeah, that's the
It'll
other
be
thing.
legal for us to drive.
And that's true. But just because the car can drive itself doesn't mean that it's possible. Now, once everyone is doing it, but you're still going to get 10 years to get everybody doing it before you can even approach this problem. I mean, you can simulate it, and I've seen the simulations, and they're fine. And they actually, it's kind of depressing because they've already said, we have to do it like this. You have to batch people together. And I was like, okay, then what's the point of getting rid of the traffic light? Because they're saying it's too hard. Suck it up, man. Like, aren't you research? Like, that's your job. It's like figure out how to get this thing to run, But now that they're still like hedging themselves and saying, no, we still need to do just a more efficient batch way. And I don't like it. I want something like this. But you're right. So let's say in 10 years, which I don't think it'll be 10 years. I think it'll be longer, just because I feel like technology is really, really slow, in my opinion. But if say 10 years, no one has a car, just essentially rent the car, right? Which, okay, and they can go make money for you while you're not, say you do own the car, you just let it drive itself around all day. You still gotta wait for like almost everybody to get to that point, and then you still need to keep working on this. Again, it's just kind of like a fairy tale in my mind, but it would make me really happy.
You know about Udacity?
Yeah, that's like a thing online.
Yeah. So
I'm
they
sorry, can
have
you
a-
repeat that, please?
He asked if I know what Udacity was.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So they have a self-driving car manager. They just started a month ago.
What's it? Is that one of those nano-degree things?
Yeah. It's called the self-driving car manager.
What is it about? Like,
Self-driving cars.
I mean, is it about like build one? Or is it like literally how to drive? They drive
Literally
themselves?
how to, I guess, I just look at it's how the developer of the software car.
Yeah, the founder is the guy who worked on the self-driving car for 2012.
Yeah. Actually, the guy who founded the Udacity, that was his dream, was like to have these intelligent cars, self-driving cars. That's how it's even before he started Udacity. That's what he was doing at Stanford. He was working for Google. And then he broke away and he founded Udacity. And then he broke those other different humanities. Now they have a self-driving car.
They have a link and they have all these radars and features from NVIDIA. And basically, 250 people. I mean, it's harder getting that program than Harvard. It's like
Oh, really?
1% of the people get accepted because they only have 250 seats.
But the guy, Sebastian Brooke, who founded Udacity, he's one of the top experts like, in the world for self-driving cars.
Once Google started commercializing, or getting ready to commercialize, all these plans are starting democratizing the connected cars.
Yeah, I like the self-driving cars. I think I would totally take one. I mean, I'll probably keep mine really far, but although my son drives before and stuff. I think this problem is more of like a physics problem, really, versus like. I don't think computer scientists are going to fix this specific problem because this problem is it's a math problem. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm excited, and I hope, I pray, and I'll do whatever I can to get into this sort of space. I ended up doing like 3 months, spending a lot of time looking into it, and then I was like, I don't have the math to even touch this, which kind of sucked, and I was kind of angry, but I mean, I know what I'm good at bad, so I'll keep an eye on it, but that's what it is.
You said technology was slow. I think technology was fast enough. It's just that I guess the law doesn't know what's.
Well, I mean, just because technology is there doesn't mean everyone's going to do it.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. Is I think people like, I'll probably still want to drive. I mean, maybe not. I don't know, but I don't think it's just going to like sweep and everyone's gonna be like, okay, screw it, get rid of my car. Like I don't think it's.
Well, I mean, new companies like Uber are trying to make it such that it doesn't make sense for anyone to own a car.
Right.
That's where they're going. So
Right.
they're working on the self-driving car. Lyft is working on it. There was another company called Sidecar, which started even before Uber, and they went out of business. So they sold Sidecar, sold General Motors.
Oh really?
Yeah. So that General Motors is working on a self-driving car project.
I think
All these cars are
oh,
trying to go to a point where you would not be going and buying a car per se.
you just rent it or.
They're just pretty much doing Uber from what I understand, or leasing.
Yeah, well, I think another model is you buy the car, then you just let it drive all day, pick people up, you charge it to your Uber while you're at work. I mean, it's like $100 a day or something. I mean, I don't know if it'll be worth it or not. I know Uber will probably make it so you don't want
The
it.
manufacturers are trying to do that.
Yeah.
The company who is actually just putting. But I guess everybody's trying to be like Uber.
It's going through the commodities, so. Yeah, I don't know how fast it'll happen. I mean, I hope fast, but that's really hard.
You think cars in the future? I mean, you need like.
That's the other thing. Is it even gonna be car?
Automated vehicle just for one person. I mean, you need like.
I want like tubes everywhere, you know?
You need moving rooms, like
I don't know, something. I mean, who knows? It's something, someone might come up with something that, you know, was like, I made a Porsche car and a car to something else. I don't know. I mean, maybe we're not fundamentally attacking the problem as best as we should. I mean, I think we probably are. I mean, who knows? I don't know. Yeah, I know it just keeps getting better. I don't know what direction we'll go in. But I think everyone's happier. So. All right, that's all I have for everybody today. So.